So 2 weeks ago? It might have been 2 or 3 weeks ago, we covered a video with David Menzies where David Menzies went into an LCBO and apparently purchased 3 bottles of scotch. But then he got home and he said one of the boxes was empty. So like they came in these boxes. They were like $100 bottles of scotch, but they came in boxes. And when you open the box, 2 of them had bottles in them, but the third did not. And the reason why he didn't know was because he had to get them to open the thing, and then they take it to the counter, and then the woman bagged it, and at no point did he check it. And it's the cashier's job to check the boxes or whatever. So he claims that they did not that they sold him 2 when they should have sold him 3. So he calls the store, gets them to put by talking to the managers, and the manager was just like, "Okay, look, it could have been a mistake, even though we had speculated that it's quite possible that he drank it and just forgot, but it could have been a mistake." And so they were like, "We'll give you an additional bottle. Come into the store and pick it up." So when he comes into the store, rather than just picking the fucking thing up, he decides to stage a sit-in and records the whole fucking thing, harasses the staff, acts like a complete fucking asshole, and then in the end they don't give him the bottle because they're like, "No, you'll have to go through a whole bunch of shit to get it," right? And again, yes, hard-hitting news. A personal grievance was sold on a parent news program calling itself Rebel News, when really it was just an asshole being an asshole, right? Over a personal petty grievance. Okay,
Jody, just before we start, I just wanted to ask, what do you think the chances are that we're gonna want to buy somebody else a pizza party by the end of this video?
I think lower. I felt a lot
Okay.
worse for the on the ground staff at the LCBO. This might be a little bit weirder because from what I get from the title, so it says David Menzies versus Goliath OLG. Spoiler alert, David wins again. I don't know exactly what that means, but apparently from what I gathered from the description, David either won some money or something, and the OLG didn't properly return it to him. So now he's going to the OLG building and is going to do the same thing he did in the LCBO, except at the, I want to say, corporate office, although I'm not even sure if the OLG will be considered corporate because it's a public business, right?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know. It's publicly run. It's the Ontario Lottery Group? What's the G? What's the
That sounds
G?
right. I think it is group.
It might be like Ontario Lotto and Gaming, but then I would think there'd
yeah.
have to be an association or something after it.
Gaming. Yeah, okay.
Lottery gambling.
I apologize if I slip out to see if KGJ breaks the law tonight. I would recommend coming back and at least giving us that update. But if you have to slip out, Tony. Much love.
Yeah.
So this one is only 10 minutes in comparison to the other ones, I think 30.
I mean,
so that's a good sign already.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I have not watched this at all, so my apologies if it's a dud. I just figured, with all the things going on in the world, what we need on this stream for this Friday night is watching David Menzies harass public employees.
I do find it very funny that they've gone from the David episode about his drinking problem, and now we're doing his gambling problem.
It's the other thing is, with the Avi content and then this, really, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't have much to take from. Because all they've been doing lately, and I refuse to talk about it anymore, is the stupid anti-lockdown, all the pastors that are getting arrested, and it's just I've on the podcast, that's all we talk about because that's all they fucking talk about all the time, and I'm just bored of it. So these were literally the only 2 segments that appeared on YouTube this week that had nothing to do with the pandemic. So this is why we're covering that. I mean, we probably would have covered this one anyways. But the Avi mini one, let's be real, it's because there was literally nothing else to cover. And I think the only reason Avi did that piece is because in Australia they don't really have a problem with the pandemic anymore. So Abby, we might have to be dipping into Abby just for a bit, even though I can't stand him because again, he's a convicted wife beater. And David Menzies, possible alcoholic with a gambling addiction. Possible. I don't know that to be sure. But here we go.
There's no filming on the property unless it's been authorized in advance.
Are you really that afraid of this virus?
This has got nothing to do with it. This is CF policy.
Yeah, but I mean, the policy for, I mean, I think you look young and healthy. I don't think you're in any danger.
Take this outside.
Speaking of the video, I was shocked, albeit not surprised, to read many comments in which other OLG customers stated
This is like the
that
the
they had
B-roll
not
at the
been
beginning.
paid out, or that it took months of fighting with the OLG until checks were issued. Can you please tell me the total amount of money that the OLG has denied winners for whatever reason? By the way, folks, on that particular question, I've asked it before. If you can imagine, the OLG says it doesn't keep track of that information. Can you imagine that? They keep track of every penny going in and out of this corporation. We're going to follow that up with a Freedom of Information request.
So what have we gleaned from this bumper piece? It seemed okay. You go on, Ken.
I was just going to say that nobody focuses on the news that no one else will cover, quite like David Menzies, and we're lucky to have him.
And if Tony
I
was
have an
still around,
excellent-
that was more car honking right now. Actually, it is still ongoing. Sorry, Fiona, go on.
I have an excellent protest strategy that David could try.
Go on.
Does involve fire.
Oh, self-immolation. David Menzies
Instead of the
self-immolates.
OLG
Yeah,
offices.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, self-immolate, and he has to eat his way out of a police barrier.
Look, I would say if... Yes, for those who don't know, when he got arrested in Montreal, he chewed through the police tape. Like a dog. And he purposely went out of his way to get it. And when he was explaining it to Sheila, he's like, "Yeah, I went at it like a dog." Oh my god. Oh, that's what I should make Elron's when Elron subscribes to the channel will be David Menzies. I went at it like a dog.
God. Jesus Christ. That's that alcohol-induced psychosis, isn't it?
Oh, I had not heard that. That's awesome. It is awesome. Yeah, so what do we glean from this bumper clip? As far as I could tell, it has something to do with the fact that the OLG is not giving people their lottery winnings for some reason. And he's also mad at the fact that the person who's employed by the OLG is wearing a mask because he's legally mandated to in the province of Ontario. Meanwhile, David Menzies wants to break the law once again on camera by not wearing a mask. Was Bexty sent to the cornfield? He was at the Montreal Police Showdown. So he apparently was at the Montreal thing, the anti-lockdown protest there, for Rebel News as a independent contractor, according to both Bexty and Rebel News. But yes, he no longer works for them, apparently, which is great. We haven't had to actually watch or talk about any of his shit for a while now. We did learn that his first guest was Maxime Bernier, which definitely made me not want to listen to it. I was thinking if it was going to be someone else a little bit more like, ooh, then I might have tuned in, but I don't really care to hear what Maxime Bernier has to say. Here we go.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, I'm back at the Toronto headquarters of the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation. You might recall last week we ran a video. It was about how I had won a Pick 4 prize, which was over.
Oh, shit, this is part 2? I didn't know there was a part 1.
Oh no, we're getting the sequel first.
You misled us.
Should we? I didn't even know it existed. Should we go back to a part 1? I don't know how long it's ago. We've got about Let's just see if how long that video is. If it's super short, we'll go back to it. If not, we'll stick with this. I did not know that that's the case. How dare me?
Cody's spreading fake news.
Yeah. I mean, I look at all their videos on this. Oh, there it is. Oh shit. It's 11 minutes. It's 11 minutes.
You could skim it.
Yeah.
Skip the bumpers and such.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do with it. Here,
$1,000.
I might even just like even just get like the intro of it. See what he says at the beginning of it. See what the complaint is. Here we go. Check it out. And you can all see this right now, right?
Yeah.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, I'm outside the Toronto headquarters of the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation. If you can imagine, it has happened yet again to me. I actually bought a winning lottery ticket in a dollar amount over $1,000.
He was in the other video.
And that means you cannot validate it at a retailer. You have to go through a more intense process. The OLG wants to make sure that they are paying the proper ticket holder the money because, as you know, the OLG has a sordid history of turning the other eye and holding its nose when it comes to paying out fraudsters. But the precise opposite is happening with me, folks. You may recall a few years ago, I had a winning Pick 3 ticket over $1,000. And despite filling out all the paperwork, they would not process that. I think the unspoken reason is that for decades, I've been covering the OLG and...
Why would we remember this, David?
Yeah. I didn't know that this was an ongoing. This is like a years-long dispute. Like that's like his old school logos.
Yeah.
Man. This is
this came out because he wasn't wearing a mask.
Yeah, no, sorry, Ken.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say it really is like that alleged alcohol problem really does pair with an alleged gambling problem for years.
All because of $1,000 check, apparently, that he was not paid out. Okay.
Do you know how many of those fucking whiskey things that he wanted from before he could buy with that?
You know what's incredible though? It's like if he's winning $1,000 check from gambling, how much money has he put into it so far?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like it's $1,000. I'm getting it back. It's like yeah, but like how long have you been doing this? That like that's how much money have you put into this, Dave?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So desperate that he needs to turn it into a news piece. I skipped. Apparently, there's another commercial about how they got kicked off YouTube, so I skipped that too.
Pages. There's 4 pages here of every single box that has been filled out.
Paper. See, I got paper. There's
indicating
paper
where and when I bought the ticket. But more to the point, the OLG knows where and when I bought the ticket by the barcode, and they can simply go to the gas station where I bought the ticket, pull the surveillance video. And confirm that it was me physically that purchased this ticket,
the gas station kept
but they
all
won't
that
do
footage.
it. And the question arises, who gets to keep this money?
I feel like, what do you think is going on here? Like, he hasn't given us any information. So, like, he had to go, because you can't get $1,000 win from the convenience store, he had to go to the OLG office through some sort of process to get that money. And for some reason, they didn't pay it out. But he won't explain why. But why do we think that they didn't pay it out? I almost
they don't have $1,000 in the fucking cash.
No, like, why OLG just didn't even give it to them? Like, I almost feel like he just didn't fill out a form appropriately or something like this. And so, therefore, they think he's committing fraud of some kind?
I don't know, Jody. It sounds to me like you're asking a question that sounds a lot like, what is this? Are you guys kidding me?
Because it's like, why? I mean, he made it sound like the reason why he's not getting the payout is because of his years-long journey at fighting the Ontario Lottery Gaming Commission Corporation thing. That like because of his deep his deep journalism that they're withholding this money from him. And I just have to say, I do not believe that is the case. I don't think that the OLG will be just so upset that they would refuse to give David Menzies a $1,000 lottery winning.
I hate this dude so much.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we will never know Two Cars if it's intentional or not, but doesn't it? It feels like he's like, man, if I just screw this up so that they refuse to give me the money, I could have another story and I could look legitimate as I'm trying to harass them. Like, I don't know. Maybe they do. Do you think like Rebel has like writing rooms where they sit down and like game all this out? We could have years of content on this. And you'll look like a martyr. We'll sell more Rebel. I guess they're not on patrons. I don't know what you call them. Rebel people. Confederates.
I mean, if it's not going to me, a winning lottery ticket was bought and paid for.
Yeah, what's the
but
OLG side?
the winnings remain in the OLG coffers. Well, in any event,
yes,
I did reach out to
$1,000
Tony Batonti. He's a spokesman here at the OLG with 5 questions. One was, why do OLG investigators, that's what they're called, and I spoke to 2 of them without success, have a practice of asking for information of prize claimants that is not even required in the OLG prize claim paperwork? Number 2, correct me if I'm wrong, but retailers that sell OLG products would have video surveillance images of those buying lottery tickets. Why isn't such video referred to in order to get definitive answers as to who purchased the tickets, given that the camera does not lie? Wouldn't this end this nonsense in a heartbeat? Number 3, what exactly...
Could you just imagine if, like, the OLG had to race, like... Here's the thing, too. I'm not a fan of gambling. I don't think we should have an OLG. That being said, that's probably a hot take. Would we waste the resources on, like, making sure that every gas station has a functional camera such that we can, like, use it to make sure that these, like, $1,000 prize goes to the right person?
And endless storage space as well?
Yeah.
Like,
for every single person who bought a lottery ticket needs to be saved in the system.
You know, it is a gas station, so they definitely do have cameras behind the register. But they only save it for like 24 to 48 hours because 1, I think that's all that's legally required of them. And 2, storage space, because 24-hour filming takes up a lot of a room. Like,
and Ezra, like we had it on the show recently. I can't remember what it was for, but Ezra was complaining about the Canadian government having access or having access to your personal information of some kind. I can't remember what it was, but it's like, so instead you want the government to have access to all this camera footage at all these gas stations? Like, I don't understand. It's never consistent.
Exactly happens to the money that the OLG withholds if it is, quote, not satisfied, end quote, with the answers with the prize claimants?
These guys are
Number
idiots.
4, what is the amount of prize winnings the OLG has withheld, either total or based on a fiscal year? And number 5, the OLG justifies its gambling monopoly on the proviso of social responsibility. How is it socially responsible to cheat winners out of their winnings? And that was sent to Tony Batonti, I believe, 3 days ago. Haven't heard back. Now, earlier, we actually went into the building to the 4th and 5th floor where the OLG is located.
How are you socially responsible?
He's wearing a mask?
Yeah.
And he's taking off the mask.
Oh, wait.
He wore a mask to get into the building in the elevator.
Went into the building to...
Yeah, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, here's the thing. David Menzies, and there's clips, we've covered it on stream before, I have the videos. They wear buttons that say, I'm exempt. and they say they're exempt because it's a medical exemption, and they go by the excuse that you can't actually ask me what my medical exemption is because that would be against the Human Rights Code in Canada, which is partially true. It's all complicated, fun stuff. But here's the thing. He clearly is not exempt because here he is nonchalantly wearing a mask and then decides
the fourth
as he's
and fifth
entering
floor
the
where the
building
OLG is
to
located.
take off the mask.
And well,
entered the building, off comes the
nobody's home,
mask.
folks. Check it out.
Because now he's
Well,
going
now
to
he's going to
harass
interview
people.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what better way to make them uncomfortable than to not wear a mask during a global pandemic? What a lovely human being this David Menzies is.
Well, here I am at the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation Toronto headquarters, and wow, folks, they have completely bugged out. There is nobody here. It's just empty.
Corporate security.
Yeah, hi there. My name's David Menzies.
If you are a visitor attending a scheduled meeting or you are an OLG employee requiring access, please call OLG Corporate Security Services. Okay. Notice also there's a mask
And
sign
I'm
right
on
beside
the
it, too.
fourth floor, and I was hoping to speak to somebody at OLG head office.
There's no one currently at the office.
Oh, okay then. That's odd. So is that every day there's no one here, or?
No, I can tell you can call the media line and get any information from them if you'd like.
Yeah, I actually did send out an email a few days ago to Tony Batanti, and I haven't heard a response. And it's in regard to a
So
lottery
he's gonna
ticket
talk to the security
that.
people.
Okay, I'm just going to stop you right there. I can't give you any information because I don't know anything about that.
Oh, sure. No, that's why.
Refer you-
That's why.
He's on the phone with security and he's gonna tell him his grievances. Like security will have
David.
any understanding.
Fucking Christ, David. Jeez. Goddamn fucking Christ.
Oh, haven't you heard my woe-begotten story that I need to get my $1,000, please, Mr. Security Guard? Oh my god.
Well, I'll educate you.
Media line, you can contact them and then they can.
Well, and here it is, like, you can see, like, he wants to keep going, and it's probably because he's like, I need to get this footage, or else I'm not going to have the footage, and so I need to make sure that I say it out loud. And it always sells better when there's someone on the other end of the phone. I wonder how many hundreds of harassment emails Tony Batanti has gotten. Yeah, Jesus. Now, I don't know enough about Tony Batanti to know whether or not he deserved that harassment. Not that you deserve harassment. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm more sympathetic to the staff at that LCBO than I am necessarily with the board people of the OLG.
Can get back to you.
Yeah, but they aren't getting
Because
back to me.
Batanti
And
gets
the
to
thing
hide
is,
and not have to deal with
they're
the harassment.
holding a ticket of mine that's worth over $1,000, and they're not going to pay allegedly because they're not convinced it's my ticket.
Again, this
so
is the security guy on the phone.
Okay, well, I'm just going to
course
cut
security
you
guy.
off there because I have no knowledge of the ticket or the claim. You can contact the line. That's all I can do for you.
Oh, isn't this the line right now that I'm calling?
No, this is not. This is a corporate security line.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's corporate security, I think you have an issue with an
my
internal
God.
scandal again with the OLG.
Yeah, I'll give you the contact line. And
Okay.
You can contact them and get the information.
Okay, is there going to be someone that actually answers the phone there, sir, or?
I would imagine so. I
Okay.
know they're extremely busy right now, but I can give you the line and you can call them.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay, it's 188.
188.
Oh god, they're gonna have the number. Oh! Oh, they didn't give the number. Interesting.
This is government hard at work. Oh, disconnected.
Ironic.
This is my second.
gonna watch him-
attempt at
oh my
calling
God, we're
the
gonna
media
watch him
relations
call
line,
the
folks.
fucking people.
The first one just disconnected. Not even an opportunity to leave a voicemail. Now, you know what happens here, folks, because I mentioned this has happened to me before a couple of times with a Pick 3 lottery ticket worth over $1,000. I don't bend the knee. I'm certainly not going to let the OLG steal from me. And make no mistake, that's what
All
this
right,
is.
so it's going to be
out and out
ongoing
theft.
doing it. Okay.
So what I had to do in each case was file a small claims lawsuit. And it's very funny
he's had to
how
do it
that's
before?
a behavior modification tool for the OLG, because when the OLG is served papers
What a bunch of
and a
morons.
court date is set, guess what? Suddenly,
Yeah, I know,
my
right?
papers, those papers that were in question, those papers that were so mysterious to decipher, suddenly the papers, well, they're perfectly okay. So this is an element of meanness, and it's an element of pettiness, and it's an element of economic persecution as well, because I have to file $100 for the small claims lawsuit. They know they don't have a winning case. They know there is film footage that shows me buying the ticket, but they're going to make me go through all of these legal hoops until they finally pay me my winnings, as opposed to facing the scrutiny in court, where they would be obliged to give answers, as opposed to, well, as you saw, no comment, no comment, no comment.
All right. I don't know if we need to watch the last little bit of this to get the gist of what happened the first time, but apparently this is not the first time he's had to go through this. Like 2 cars. Like, how much money does he gamble in order to win $1,000 twice? Yeah. We have, well, I mean, this was the first video, so we got, apparently he was doing a follow-up with the first video we were watching before we paused it. So we'll go back to that. We'll see if we got any progress. So he said in this video he was gonna have to go to, like, what does he say, small claims court or something like this, to try to, like, force their hand. So let's see if he did that or something else.
That meant it had to go to investigations, and as par for the course,
He's got his Indiana Jones hat
the
back.
investigations unit declined my prize claim. They were uncertain I was the right purchaser of the ticket, even though I filled in all the boxes and checked all the lines and presented government ID, but it was no dice. And I
See, I wonder, like, he just probably filled out the form incorrectly. Because why else would they decline it? How was he not able to prove that he was the ticket holder? Didn't he have the ticket? Like, I don't know. Something seems super fucking fishy about this.
suspect it's because they don't like my coverage
Well,
of
gambling
the
problem,
OLG.
drinking problem.
It is one of the most scandal-plagued crown corporations.
It's the same bit
in
he
the
did for the
history of
first
crown
segment.
corporations. And this is a petty, vindictive way, I guess, of delaying my prize claims.
yeah,
Typically,
same
what
clip
I
of
have
him
to
getting the
do
microphone stuck in
is
the door.
file a small claims court submission. And lo and behold, that's when the OLG miraculously discovers that my prize claim is kosher. Isn't that amazing? And you know what I found amazing too about the video? I read the comments, and there were several comments from our viewers saying,
Did the same thing to my mother, bunch of thieves. Ironically, David, my father-in-law, had the same problem. He won around $4,000 right before John Tory locked down Toronto. So unfortunately, he was unable to go in person to collect his money. Then they definitely gave him the runaround with BS paperwork. Now, if John Tory won a lottery, they would give him the money or a new Canadian. Oh my God, the racism just right at the end there. You know, it only happens to us non-new Canadians, you know, with a certain color of skin. It only happens to us. My dad won $1,900, and it took almost a year to get it, and had to be grilled by 3 different investigators, and almost ripped up his tickets in tears of frustration. He is 78 years old and gave them more than the information needed all at the start of COVID, so he could not go to a casino. He had to mail it in. He almost didn't get it because of the same issue. They could not be sure he bought the ticket. Apparently, they love to take your money, but don't like paying it out. OLG, you make me sick. You know what's a good solution to all of this, actually? Just not have the OLG.
Yeah.
Get rid of gambling.
Well, I mean, I made a proposition to turn it into like a pro gamer organization, the Ontario League of Gamers.
Amen. Save the endangered species.
The true marginalized community, gamers.
I just think it would be very funny to have a government-sponsored gaming league.
Yeah. Subsidized gaming. I'm down.
Yeah.
I love how this person has a Bitcoin in their user picture as well. I don't know.
Of course they do.
When I was in undergrad, I did a joint honors philosophy and psychology, and I guess I took a lot of his classes. I can't even remember his name. One of my favorite philosophy psychology professors at the University of Waterloo actually worked in an addictions lab studying gambling addictions, in particular having to do with slots. And so I think you could find like a 60-minute segment out there like with him. He basically had to pressure the government of Ontario over and over again for them to send him the casino like slot machines, and then would study people with I don't think it was fMRI. It could have just been EEG or other things, but he studied basically their brain patterns from playing the game and found that like OLG and these like casino companies found like ways to make the machines light up in such a way where it like hits the reward pathways in such a way that people like it almost forces gambling addiction on people, that they keep coming back because it lets you win just enough to think you're getting ahead, but you never get ahead. And so like they purposely design the machines that way. And I'm just like, listen, I get like there's a segment of the population that's like, oh, since people are going to gamble anyways, we'll just use that money. We'll do it legally through the government, and then we'll just use the revenue to like fund things. And I'm like, so we're funding our social programs off the back of people who get addicted to gambling, which seems a little fucked up. So my stance has always been, let's just not have gambling, you know? Maybe not crack down on people who like I don't also want a police state where people like are, I don't know, raiding back alley gambling or something like that, cracking skulls or something. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't be funding our social programs off somebody's addiction. This seems a little weird to me.
You can still bet on the Ontario League of Gamers.
That they've undergone the same sort of shenanigans in terms of claiming a valid prize claim. So here's a lottery corporation that has a history of holding its nose and looking the other way when it comes to insider wins, but it puts people, honest winners, through the scrutiny of an investigation that declines their prize claim based on what?
What a weird
it's absolutely bizarre.
edit that was.
Well, this is a victory lap, folks, because the day after the video aired, I didn't even get a chance to go to small claims court this time. The day after the video aired, I got a Purolator Express. There you go. And guess what was in it? Yeah, there was a check. The glare of bad publicity this time worked in me.
Do you think Purolator works that fast? Like, are we to believe that David Menzies puts out a video, then the OLG people just happen to watch it and go, "Oh no!" Immediately cut him a check, and then perlate it to him so that he has it the next day? Or, now here's my theory. He was already being mailed the check. And staged the first video for no reason. That would be my guess.
I don't know, but I'm sitting here giggling at your use of purulate as a verb.
Yeah. Why not? Purulate. I was hoping maybe if he holds the envelope in a certain way, we could see if like it's too blurry. I don't know if we can see it. Look at me being an investigative person here. Yeah, no, it's too blurred out. Can't make any of it out. I don't know. Something tells me that it clearly wasn't like they had to cut the check, because like even internally to the OLG, there's no way that it worked that fast. Dave's got his winnings and is ready to let it ride again. Oh god, Tony. Yes, as well. Ezra's not a good friend to have around when you have an addiction or something like that. Like, Ezra is constantly sending him out to get arrested constantly. All because of money. Wait, so when recording this segment, he already had it. Yes, yes. That whole opening was to say that I already had the check. Yes. The segment that we watched before, apparently, which was yesterday, or 2 days, whenever, in the timeline of this, it was yesterday. And now he has the check, miraculously.
Express. There you go. And guess what was in it?
I mean, it was
there
Pearl
a
Later
check.
Express.
The glare of bad publicity this time worked in me getting what was rightfully mine. But I gotta tell you, I'm curious. If it wasn't the glare of publicity, then what moved the dial? Because their investigator, Lee Pinio, and there was another investigator, Dominic, he didn't give his last name, they seemed to be certain I was not the rightful purchaser of the ticket. So I sent off a email to Mr. Pinio and Mr. Tony Butanti. He's the spokesman for the OLG. He doesn't seem to return my emails anymore. I don't know why. That is his job. In any event, this is what I said. I just took delivery of my check. Thank you. Yet, while I'm grateful that I'm finally receiving what is rightfully mine, I am nevertheless curious as to what made you change your mind so that the payout would be authorized. After all, in our discussion via telephone last Wednesday, you indicated that the information that I had supplied was lacking and that there were doubts that I was indeed the purchaser of the ticket.
Lacking. If only we had... I wish he included their email so we would know what was lacking. So what the hell does that mean? Lacking in what? Was it simply he just needed to, like, give them one other piece of information that he didn't include the first time?
Tony, this is way sadder than the Scotch video. You're right. This one's, like, not even funny. Or infuriating, even.
No, because, I mean...
I just feel empty.
I mean, with the LCBO one was their staff. I mean, listen, we got more of this video, so my guess is we are going to see him harassing security at some point.
Line and checked every box on the OLG prize claim form. As well as requested, I provided the OLG with photocopies of government-issued photo ID. Your colleague Dominic had also said my detailed information was insufficient. So, did your decision to do the right thing come about due to my suggestion that you check the retailer's surveillance footage, which would clearly show that I was in fact the purchaser of the ticket? Or was your change of heart based on my assertion that I would again commence a small claims lawsuit? As you know, I've gone this route in previous dealings with the OLG in order to receive my rightful winnings. Or was your decision to pay out based on the Rebel News report that chronicled my plight? At last check, that video had received more than 56,000 views on our YouTube channel, garnering 6,200 thumbs up and 44 thumbs down. Speaking of...
Why would you include the thumbs down? David Menzies being thorough. Oh my god. And it had 82 impressions on the Twitters. Like, thank you. Thank you for this.
Wait, was for that the video that just happened, or was that the one from like 40 years ago?
No, it's the one that we just watched.
That's a decent view count for them. That's probably why they're bragging.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's the thing, is all these videos of theirs do get a lot of things. I think a lot of people do hate the OLG. And again, another way to get rid of people hating the OLG so much is not having an OLG. Problem solved.
Of the video, I was shocked, albeit not surprised, to read many comments in which other OLG customers stated that they had not been paid out or that it took months of fighting with the OLG until checks were issued. Why does your corporation continue to act in such an abusive fashion?
Abusive.
As well, can you please tell me the total amount of money that the OLG has denied winners for whatever reason? By the way, folks, on that particular question, I've asked it before. If you can imagine, the OLG says it doesn't keep track of that information. Can you imagine that? They keep track of every penny going in and out of this corporation. We're going to follow that up with...
I would wonder like how you would be able to track something like that. Like I don't know. I don't work for the OLG, so I don't know all the ins and outs of their company. But I'm guessing anyone could have a like. Do they know every single number inputted? Does it like go immediately into a machine that tracks every single person who's bought a ticket, such that they know those winning tickets are out there even if no one claims it? Or do they wait till a claim is made and then check the ticket? I don't know. Because if they don't track that information, there's no way to know how much money they never handed out, because many people could have won and just never claimed it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I just realized I was muted. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck the lottery works. It just seems stupid.
Should be unclaimed winnings in an account somewhere. But it's like the lottery doesn't like work that way though. Like because I guess like a whole bunch of people buy a bunch of tickets, but like you need to like choose the right numbers for like the draw thing. Here's the thing. This I'm exposing right now my complete and utter ignorance of how lottery tickets work in Canada. Considering I take my own advice. And I do not gamble.
Isn't the whole like when the lottery gets like super super high because nobody's won in a couple of weeks? Isn't that because like the numbers called weren't claimed or like weren't given out? I suppose probably.
Yeah, they do. There's other like smaller things that you can win too, because I know like some people win like a new ticket or they win like $5. So it's not just the huge pot that people can win that comes out of it. I'm just not. I'm speaking ignorantly here because I don't actually know how they process all this information. They definitely track the number of winners for each tier matching. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they should have that information, or I also don't know whether it's like they're just tracking like the specific lottery tickets, or if it's like even scratch tickets they're including into here. I don't know, because I think he said he did a scratch ticket as well, so I don't know.
Freedom of information request. Surely that figure exists, and it should be public information. This is a corporation, after
But what if it doesn't
owned
exist?
by the people of Ontario. And we have come back here to try to get their side of the story since they're not responding to emails. You can see all the signs. It basically says they are closed because of COVID. Yeah, the lights are on, but nobody's home. Closed because of COVID? Let's have a little truth in advertising here. I think they're closed for another reason, and I've gone to the trouble on my own expense to make a sign for them.
Oh dear God. What an idiot.
Like I said, truth in advertising.
Got him.
Why? The thing is, like, it's like Tony said earlier that this is sad, and you said the same thing, and it is. And part of that is because like there's no audience here. He doesn't. I see an asshole on the side. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Like this when he stages the demonstration in the LCBO, it has a greater effect because there's people he can interact with and be an asshole with. Here, it's like there's no one here. He has no audience. So hanging this sign is just like such a stupid gesture. And you know it's like one of those sad things, like the next time the janitor comes in is just going to pick that sign up and throw it in the fucking garbage. So sad.
Like I said, truth in advertising.
Sir, I'm just here. I'm with media, just filming a shot.
There's no filming on this property unless it's been authorized in advance.
Sorry, what was that?
There's no filming on the property unless it's been authorized in advance.
Okay, I believe this was prearranged.
With who?
I'm uncertain personally. I'm with
Won't be able
Rebel
to film until
Sorry?
there'll be no filming until that's proven.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I have my instructions here. I'm waiting. That I've already have people inside. They're on their way out.
You must understand that this is private property.
Okay.
There's no filming.
Understood.
Okay.
Oh, hi, gentlemen. I am back
this was
again.
filming again.
You know what? I see the sign
my
saying
God,
that it's
of
closed
course.
for COVID.
You
I got
can't
a
just
beautiful sign
leave.
here, sir. Closed for scandal. Where can I hang this sign?
Why? This person probably is just like, that one song is like playing in his mind, like "Hello, darkness, my old friend." Oh my God.
Probably a Rebel News, no comment.
Probably a
Oh wait. Oh my God. What did he say? Oh my
closed for
God.
COVID. I got a beautiful sign here, sir. Closed for scandal. Where can I hang this sign?
Probably a Rebel News, no comment.
Got him. Got him. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
Oh my god! I like just the probably at Rebel News no comment, just all once.
Oh,
good.
I love it. This guy, this guy's my new hero. There we go. Didn't think it was coming, but there it is. Oh.
Pizza party for him.
Probably a Rebel News, but we're not scandalous. The OLG is scandalous, sir.
Okay, we've got nothing to say, so you're best on your way.
Okay, then. By the way, my check did come by Pure
Oh my
Labor
God.
from the OLG, and I'm just trying to find out what changed from last Wednesday to this
So
Wednesday.
you're asking the security person.
Because they had originally said all of my information was not sufficient enough. They didn't believe that I was the winner. So I don't know if you play the lottery or not, but
No, but I'm going to have to ask you both to leave because you're not wearing masks, so you're not in compliance.
are you really that afraid of this virus?
This has got nothing to do with it. This is CF policy.
Yeah, but I mean, the policy for, I think you look young and healthy. I don't think you're in any.
like that doesn't matter, David. Like, oh my God. I love, like, you could tell, like, there's I want to call it a technique, but that's maybe giving it too much credit. But there's an aspect in which he's always like, I'm going to drag this on a little bit further by continuing to explain what happened to me to people who don't care to hear about it. And he does this every time. Every time. It's like he's just hoping if I drag this out a little bit more, maybe I'll get thrown on the ground and then we can, like, really, really sell those YouTube bucks, Draw some eyeballs to the content when Mr. Paladin Security whoops my ass. Which, frankly, I'm surprised he shows this much restraint. Yeah, if he doesn't stretch it out, the video would be 3 minutes. Yes.
Danger.
Take this outside.
Okay. Take the. Oh, geez, that sounds ominous.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
It's going to throw him
So
down.
what I'm trying to find out, sir, is what changed because they said my information was not sufficient enough, and then suddenly it was sufficient enough to award me the prize. Was it the fact that we aired a video based on this latest slice of corruption?
I have to ask OLG.
You know what? I have asked them several times. They're not returning my emails, and there's nobody in the office, sir.
No comment.
Okay, then. Well, I'm not trying to give you a tough time. I just think
Oh, yeah.
you seem like a decent guy. If you bought a
Shit.
lottery ticket and your numbers came up, wouldn't you expect to be paid out on it?
No comment.
No comment on that. So there's some nuance here. Maybe you shouldn't be paid out on a.
Camera technique
prize
here.
that you've
We got to
rightfully
get
won.
every angle of this guy we're harassing.
All right then. Well, the security guard is a little tongue-tied again. I just asked him a basic question whether he'd expect to be paid out on a winning lottery ticket. I would hope he'd be
Rebel,
paid
you've
out. but
repeated yourself 5 times.
as we found, those with contrarian opinions and others, they don't get paid out because I think what we have discovered is
Oh my
that the
God.
OLG is a government unto itself and a corrupt government at that. For Rebel News, I'm
What?
David the Menzoid Menzies.
The OLG is its own government, and it's corrupt. Thank you. Thank you, David Menzies. You did it. This guy makes me want to drink. Cheers.
The OLG is the shadow liberal government.
Well, I guess we'd be conservative right now, but I don't know. But either way, I'm like...
I mean, well, it's an Ontario thing, so Ontario.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying it would have to be a shadow conservative thing, because the conservatives are in charge. Doug Ford really should do something about it. What? Making people drink? There's still honking horns out there, by the way. I don't know if you can hear that. It's 9:49, and they're just still honking horns in solidarity with Palestine, which is pretty fucking cool. Can you hear it? Here, maybe I'll put my microphone to the window. We can get the ambiance. You hear that? Yeah, Palestine. The party's going all night. I love it.
Hello, my rebels. Hello, my rebels. I'm a good boy. I'm a weirdo.